Hey everyone, I have made some adorable icicle ornaments with these beautiful into resin molds. I paint them at the end, stick around, I paint them with some beautiful metallic colors. You won't believe how they turn out. They are
This
so
project,
cute.
I started with 3 adorable icicle ornament molds. These are from Into Resin, and they're very sturdy handmade molds. I mixed my resin with eye candy snowflake, and I put it in my resiner's uh, bubble removal machine. And I know it looks like a mess. It is. I have used this so many times. Anytime I'm going to pour resin into a mold, I use the bubble removal machine because you are not supposed to use heat on a mold. You can damage it. And if I'm doing just glass on glass or canvas, I do not use the bubble removal machine because it doesn't need to be removed that way. You can use heat. You can use a torch or a heat gun to remove the bubbles. Now, when you put a colorant or a mix in your resin and you put it in the bubble removal machine, you have to make sure it's split into 2 cups, or the cup is tall enough, because you can see here it can cause it to bubble over, which, as you can tell by the looks of my bubble removal machine, that it has bubbled over many times, so you really have to keep an eye on it. And then I pour my resin into the molds. Each of these molds takes about 2 ounces of resin. And this machine that you see the mold sitting in is called the Cure Air. This is from Resiners, and this was one of their first curing machines that they had. And if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I now have something called the Resiners G3, and the difference between the two is the G3 holds taller molds, and the only reason I'm not using the G3 is because I have a whole bunch of stuff in it right now curing, so I really use both of them now. Both of them cure your molds in 2 hours, then it shuts down and goes into a cooling mode, and about a half an hour after that you can demold. Really is a game changer, both of them. Besides holding taller molds, it also has a UV light in it. If you haven't seen my video on it, please go watch it. It's really cool. So here I am 2.5 hours later demolding, and they really turned out pretty. Now the scarf, the bottom part of the scarf is kind of tucked in a little pocket there, so you have to be careful when you pull it out. You kind of have to pull it up and out. And didn't those turn out pretty? Again, that's with the eye candy snowflake mica powder. And the back of them had kind of a little lip around it, so I had to use my deburring tool to remove that. And if you don't know what a deburring tool is, it's kind of like a little razor tool, and you just go along the edges, because sometimes the edges can be really sharp and you can actually cut yourself. All 3 of these had a little bit of cleanup. Watching, because I'm going to be painting all of them. So I made another set of 3, and in these ones I put, it's called an alcohol ink. It's supposed to be a color change, but I don't see any color change with it, but it does leave just a little bit of a sparkle to it. It's super, super pretty. And I just wanted to try it with just a little bit of a sparkle. And look at the resin, the shimmer when you first pour that in. Isn't that pretty? So I just mixed it up and put it in the bubble removal machine, and then poured it into the molds. Again, about 2 ounces per mold. And then again, a few hours later, I was able to demold them. When that one had a big bubble on the back of it, I didn't usually I come back and check and pop bubbles, but I guess I didn't do it with that one. That one's going to have to be sanded down. But isn't that pretty? It's just very subtle, just little sparkles, real pretty. And then I just went ahead and demolded the other 2. Super pretty. Yeah, you can just barely see the sparkle. I love the way they turned out. And I decided I was going to paint the hats and the scarves on all the snowmen. And what I used is the high gloss acrylic varnish, and this is not like regular varnish. You don't need to wear a respirator or do it in a well ventilated area. It does not have a smell to it. It's a non-toxic, non-yellowing formula. And I mixed the varnish with some Nick Pro color change mica powders. And these are really nice mica powders. There's a lot of different companies that have the color change mica powders. You can use, any ones that you want, but this is a real nice varnish to get to be able to paint on resin. And what I figured out after, so I just mixed the two together. And what I figured out as I went on, I actually needed 3 coats, but I may have only needed 2 had I made it thicker when I did it. So I think the thicker that you make it, the less watery that it is, the better coverage it has. And then I just went ahead and painted it on. You do have to let it dry between each coat. I let it dry for like a half an hour. And I think I did use a white mica powder also, but as I go on, I end up using some markers over the white mica powder that I just put on there. And I chose a different color for each of the snowmen for their hats and matching scarves. And like I said, you have to let it dry between each coat, and if you don't, when you go over it, it'll pull up the coat before it. And here I am coming back the next day, giving it a second coat on all of them. And again, the thicker the better. So it wasn't until the very last coat that I put it on super, super thick. So yeah, the thicker that you can do it, the better. And I think that is so pretty. Isn't that pretty? You can see the color change in it. And then I just keep on painting them till all 3 of them have their second coat of paint on. And it really does need one more coat of paint. I'll leave my link and 20% off discount code for all the Into Resin molds in the description. So while the second coat of paint was drying on the first set of icicle ornaments, I decided I was going to do the next set. These are the ones with the eye candy snowflake mica powder in them. I decided I was going to do these with the Resiners chrome markers, and they have some really pretty chrome markers. They're super nice. And I did each one of the snowmen a different color, matching their hat and their scarf. And then I highlighted parts of the scarf and the brims on the hat with the silver chrome marker. And honestly, these went faster because by the time I got to the last one, the first one was dry, so I could go back and give it its second coat. And then again, I was able to give three good coats much faster than painting the mica powder on. So now here I am painting the last coat of the mica powder on, and it's super thick, this last coat. It goes on really nice. I should have had it thicker from the beginning, and it may have only needed 2 coats. So once that was dry, I came back with both the ones that had the mica powder and the ones that I used the markers on. I came back and used the silver chrome marker, and I highlighted the hats and the scarves, and I just think that just added such a pretty finishing touch. I think they really look beautiful. And then next I had to put the little eye hooks in the top so that we could hang them. So I have this way and fast forward, but I used my little Resiners rotary tool set. Super cool kit because it comes with sanders, polishers, grinders, and a drill set. And I just went ahead and drilled holes in the top of each of them, and I had gotten these little eye hooks. I actually bought these eye hooks up at, I think, Lowe's or something, but I'm sure we can get them on Amazon. I'll look for them. And in each of them I put it right in the top of their head, but the little guy that has the beanie, I had to kind of put it behind the beanie. I kind of wanted to hide it a little bit so that you could still see the little ball on top of the beanie that he had on. But this was pretty easy to do. You had to have kind of a steady hand to steady it to start the little hole, but otherwise the little drill worked really well. Once you got the hole, a little bit of a hole started, you could put the screw in and start putting it in. And then I could screw it in by hand about halfway, and then I had to use my little tool to do the rest, or else it hurt my hand to turn it. And I think they all turned out real pretty. It worked out well. And for that resiner kit there, I have a 15% off discount code in the description. I think it's on sale, plus you can get another 15% off if you use my discount code.
Hey everyone. So the hardest part of this was just painting them, which really wasn't that hard. But at first I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do. And the first three I did with the mica powders. And my last video, I was trying to put a stem on a pumpkin, and I did it with green UV resin. Everybody said, why didn't you use mica powder to put in it? You know, paint it first. And I don't know why I didn't think of it. But for these, it really would be too hard because these little scarves here, see how they stick way out? You would have to get down in there, and I just think it would be too tedious, at least too tedious for me. And then if it goes out of the area, then you have to clean up. Now, there are some people who do that all the time, and they're really good at it, and they're patient. But I just thought it would be easier for me personally just to paint it with the mica powder. And years ago, I used to use the varnish, not this varnish, but regular varnish with gold to outline and highlight different things. And then I found this high gloss acrylic varnish, and this you don't have to wear a respirator with. It doesn't have any smell. You don't have to do it in a well-ventilated area, so it was really nice. But what I did find that when you painted with, so I found these real pretty color change mica powders that I had. These ones are from Nick Pro. I've had them forever. But every single resin company out there has the color change mica powders. And when you look at these, they really do have a color change. Let me see if you can see it. They're just super pretty, kind of metallic looking. And the silver on there is the metallic marker. That is marker, but this other is paint, or is mica powder that I painted on. And I found that as I went on, because I gave it 3 coats, the first coat was thin, and then I kept on making it thicker and thicker. The thicker it is, the better coverage you have. So from the start, make it really thick as you can, and still, and still be able to paint it on. But I think those were real pretty. I think that was a little bit more difficult than using the markers. And I was going to use, I had showed you guys some metallic colored markers the other day from J. Diction, which were real nice, but they had a fine point on them, so it's too hard to paint with it. So I used the Resiner's chrome markers, and these are super nice, especially my favorite one is the silver. Oh, that is so pretty. But these have, see, the point on these is much thicker, so you can paint, it's easier to paint. And I really did end up giving, even with the marker, I gave it 3 coats. So 3 coats with the paint, 3 coats with the marker. This was just easier to go on, and you didn't have to mix anything or whatnot. This wasn't as messy. So it just depends on what look you like. But and you can do this with anything. So yeah, so this is the difference here. I'll show you them side by side. So this is the marker, and then this is the color change. You probably have more variety of colors with the color change stuff, but the silver on this is the marker. But I just think they're really cute. And the other difference between the two is this has a mica powder in it. I put a little bit of the eye candy snowflake, and with this, a little bit goes a long way if you're trying to keep it translucent, and I probably almost put too much in it, but I think it's pretty. I still think it's pretty. And then this one, although it looks kind of clear, look at it. I don't know if you can tell from the back. It's a really fine glitter. This is actually called an alcohol ink, and it says color shift, but I don't know. I don't see a color shift, but you just see a very fine glitter in it. So this was pretty cool. And I've used that before in other things. Or you could just keep it clear. I think they're pretty either way. But anyway, it was fun. I know it's only what are we in? September. We're in September, but these molds take 3 to 4 weeks to get. That's why I'm doing all my Christmas molds now if they're from Into Resin. And these are really nice, heavy-duty handmade molds. They're really thick and sturdy. And it's super easy to pour and demold and everything else. So anyway, so these were a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. If you're new here, I have, oh gosh, almost now close to 400 videos of glass and resin art and combination of glass and resin art. And then some, these are just resin, no glass. I've been working a lot with molds now, and then trying to combine the molds with glass art. I was trying to figure out how I could do this, if I could put these on, like a glass on glass project, but I thought they're cuter just hanging on the Christmas tree. This would be a nice gift to give somebody, the 3 of them as a set. Or you could even sell them. But, and these little hook things I got on Amazon, I'm sure, I think last year. I'll link those in the description too. But anyway, please consider subscribing. We have a Facebook group, an amazing group over there. Everybody's so helpful. Come check us out. And I hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks for watching.